Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast when you do what you want. At this time, doing what I want. Hope you doing what you want. What you want?
My new bitch look like Tyler Perry, but she don't love me, she too scary. My old bitch front like Jackie Brown. I wanna know if she too down. Will you be my leading lady? I wanna crush my girl, baby. In the meantime, just some me time.
Hey y'all, so I know what y'all thinking. Y'all probably like, this girl is crazy. I'm out in the woods by yourself. Life is all about taking risks, you feel me? Nature is natural, like the trees, the grass, the river, the water, sunlight, you know, all of that. Like, it's natural. It just does by itself. It doesn't need to be told what to do. It doesn't need to be reprogrammed by humans or nothing. Like, it just does what it's supposed to do in its natural state. Not to mention that God is all in nature. God created all of this. You can learn a lot just by, one, being quiet. Two, you can learn a lot from nature. You notice the water is going to do what it's going to do. But one thing that water continuously does is flows. So even if it's at a standstill and it seems real quiet, it ain't doing much, it's still flowing. It's still in its natural state. It's still doing what it's supposed to do. Same like with trees and plants. You might not physically see them growing at that moment, but they're still doing what they're supposed to do. And then over time, like, they change, they evolve, they grow. One thing I always admire about the river, certain parts I stand by and it's real quiet. It's real still. And then I walk down a little further, the next spot, it's flowing real heavy. It's real loud. It's making a lot of noise. It's making a lot of commotion. But regardless, it's flowing in the direction it's supposed to. It's constantly going. It's not fighting against what it's supposed to do. And I feel like a lot of times as humans and as people, we forget that we're just on the journey. Each one of us are on a journey, and because of certain stops that we make, or certain people that we meet along the way, or certain situations that play out a certain way, we tend to like stop or sit in that sadness or hurt or betrayal or like failure. In that moment, we feel like we messed up. We feel like something didn't work out, and we feel like we're supposed to just stop being who we're meant to be. Or like if a situation isn't playing out how you want it to or how you're expecting to, we tend to like put up these guards and we get defensive and we try to take control. I'm a very like, I have to take control of the situation type of person. If something isn't working out how I want it to or how I expected or envisioned, I'm like, what can I do in this exact moment to figure this out? What can I do in this exact moment to fix this situation? What can I do in this exact moment to resolve this, to make it go the way I want it to go? When in reality, some situations aren't supposed to be fixed. Some situations are working out exactly how they're supposed to and for us. I notice within myself that I have a strong attachment to things and people and situations that I grow to love or find comfort in, or find some type of security or some type of like happiness or whatever that I feel that's meant for me in that moment. I attach to it, and I'm trying to learn, and I'm learning that I can't attach to things. Like, yeah, if it feels good in that moment, if it's working out for me in that moment, that doesn't mean that it's going to be there forever. And I know that's a scary way to think, because we don't want to think of the things that we love to do or the people that we love to be around aren't going to be there forever. But it's the hard truth, because all of us, you know, one day are going to pass on, or all of us are one day going to move on from each other, and, you know, from different moments in time in life. That's just how life works. That's just how time is. That's just how the river flows. Like, at the end of the day, all I have is myself. It's just me and God. Everything else around me, family, friends, money, opportunity, career, love, relationships, all of that is just like extra. And I do believe those things are ways that God speaks through us and to us. God wants us to have community. God wants us to have people. God wants us to have companionship. At the end of the day, you have to go to bed at night and wake up in the morning with being okay with knowing that it's you and God. All I can do is control what Leah Clinay does. All I can do is control how I make my decisions day to day, and how I let things affect me, and how I respond to things, and how I react to things. You know, that's all I can control. I can't control another person's actions. I'm telling myself, and I'm telling y'all, if you haven't heard it before, if you haven't felt it yet, is to let go of your attachment that you have to outcomes. And a lot of the times we think that we're attached to certain people or things or situations, but we're really attached to the outcome that we've kind of pictured in our head that comes with those. And if it happens not to work out that way, that's when we begin to freak out, or it overwhelms us, it affects us, because we're so attached to that outcome, when that outcome might not never come. You might waste years and years of your life expecting that outcome because you're attached to it, and you're just going to let other opportunities and other outcomes that are meant for you pass by because you're attached to that outcome. Some of the best advice I've ever heard is to just surrender. Like, if we always practice being in a state of surrendering, and that doesn't mean don't care, that doesn't mean don't show emotions or feelings, or, you know, fight for things that you feel strongly about and passionate about. You can do those, but also while surrendering, and also while understanding that it's okay if some things don't work out or things don't work how you expected them to. As your own person, you are so consumed in a certain feeling in the moment, or in a moment of time, because you're the one that's feeling it. In certain situations that I've been in, like, I went to people and I'm like asking for advice, and they're telling me, like, Leah, you don't have to go through this. You're beautiful. You have this and that going for you. Like, I can see it. And a lot of the times we kind of like stick our nose up at those types of advice because we're like, they don't understand, they don't get it. It's just because they're not immersed in the feelings that you're feeling. And that's why it's important not to let feelings take over, because feelings come and go, feelings change. They're not immersed in those specific feelings that you have in that moment, so they're able to think clearly. They're able to see things clearly versus how you see them. And that's why if it was the other way around and they're going through something and you're giving them the advice, they don't want to hear it, because now they're stuck in the feelings. You're not. You're free from those feelings, so you're able to clearly tell them what the situation looks as it is. We get in situations and we're like immersed in the feelings because it's us that's feeling it. We tend to make decisions blindly. You have to learn to, and we have to learn, and I have to learn to, like, step out of ourselves sometimes. Every day, at least once a day, practice taking a moment to step out of yourself and reflect over that day. Reflect over your decisions. Reflect over how you feel and how things have made you feel. And step out of the feelings aspect. Like, take a step away from all that's like clouding your mind, your judgment, your discernment, your spirit, like your natural spirit to just be happy, to laugh, to make people laugh, to love people. Because you're weighed down by these feelings that you're experiencing in this moment, you don't let a whole 24 hours go without laughing, without smiling. Step out of what you're feeling in that moment so you can have a clear vision and clarity of what to do next. Stop letting things weigh you down. Stop letting things keep you from evolving and moving forward. That don't mean you always have to completely let go of something you're not ready to let go of, but you can let go of your attachment to the outcome. You can let go of your attachment to it, and you can free yourself from it in that moment to allow yourself to just be, to just exist. Not be that person's girlfriend, not be that person's boyfriend, not be that person's sister, or that friend that everyone needs, or that boss that has to show up at this time and this day. Just allow yourself to just be in certain moments and in certain situations, and especially in situations that we can't control. Each one of us are flawed. Each one of us have problems, have issues, have our own ways, and have things about us. So we can't expect other people to not be flawed. So that's why I'm saying it's so important to let go of your attachment to people and the outcomes that come with people, because everybody's going to mess up. And you can't let someone's mess up ruin your day, ruin your month, ruin your year, ruin your life. You have to let a person be. And everybody has their own journey, and you can't expect someone to be ready to move forward with you. You can't expect someone to be ready to be in the same state as you, or you can't even expect someone to be at the same state as you. They're just at a different state. You're just at a different state, and that's okay. You know, that it can still coexist. Just like a tree is gonna be a tree. You got the leaves sitting around, you got the grass. They're all completely different things, but they're all sitting within the same environment. They all can. It ain't like, oh, the river's here, so these trees gotta go. These trees finna die. Like, they can't coexist. They're all different, made uniquely different, serve different purposes in life, and they still coexist. And sometimes still help each other. So if you stand strong in what you are and what state you're in, and who you are, and don't let a person affect you, and don't try to change a person, y'all's different states may even be better together as is, instead of you trying to change that person, or you're trying to become what they are. You have to understand that everybody's on their own journey. Let people be on their own journey, and you just focus on your journey. Recently, like, some of the stuff that I've been through or just experienced mentally, I came to the conclusion that I don't want to trip anymore. I don't want to put up a fight. I don't want to resist the things that I go through or that I'm going to go through. I just want to let things happen how they're supposed to. What I can control, I will. Like, what I can do when I wake up in the morning and before I go to bed at night, I will do what I can on my end and for myself. But other than that, I've realized that I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I don't want to be angry, jealous, envious, insecure. I don't want to be none of those things. I just want to learn to surrender. Sometimes I feel weak when I don't clap back. Or sometimes I feel weak when I don't give people a reaction or a response. So I feel like, nah, I ain't finna let them fly with that. You feel me? Like, they gonna know, they gonna hear how I feel. They gonna feel how I feel. Or you get in that revenge mode. I don't want to do that anymore. And I don't want to make myself feel that I'm weak just because I don't give a response. Because a lot of the times, giving a response, acting out of anger, trying to get back at a person, that's the easy thing to do. Because it just comes naturally, and that's what we want to do. That's what we think makes us feel good. Our flesh will feel good if we do that. The truth is that takes way more energy, and you might not feel it until after the fact. Versus, it's a little harder to just allow yourself to calm down, step away from the situation in the moment, and, you know, take a breather. It's harder to do that in the moment, but the outcome, you have more energy. You won't be as invested. You won't be as attached. That's where strength comes from. That's the true strength. That's not being weak. You know, I think I've tricked myself into thinking if I don't give a response, then I'm being weak. And that don't mean let people walk over you. That don't mean not stand up for yourself, because you should stand up for yourself. But sometimes standing up for yourself looks like walking away. Sometimes standing up for yourself looks like being quiet. And for my people that's like overly sensitive and overly empathetic and that feel strongly, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's possible to, in those moments, to breathe and to, like, free yourself from all those thoughts that are weighing you down. Even though in the moment it don't feel like it, because you feeling all these feelings so intensely, and maybe more intense than other people that you know of. And you looking around like, damn, how are they so, how can they let go of things so easy? Why I can't? Because you feel things a little bit more intense. And that's okay. It's still possible. Because I'm like that. I feel things on a deeper level. And I sometimes hate that about myself. But I was looking at myself in the mirror this morning, and I said, I don't want to keep hating stuff about myself that I can't really help. I don't want to keep hating things about myself that God created me to be. I want to love every aspect of myself and love every depth of myself, love every flaw. We can't get rid of the flaws. We can't get rid of the ways that we hate about ourselves. I want to love those just as much as I love the quote-unquote good things about me. I want to love the ways about myself that other people maybe don't like. That doesn't mean be stuck in your ways to where, you know what I'm saying, you're pushing people away. because you can work on things and become a better person overall, but do it for yourself. Because sometimes some people don't like certain ways about you because they can't handle it. It won't meant for them to handle you in that way. But we can't look for other people to handle us. We can't look for other people to do for us. We can't expect other people to make us happy. We can't expect other people to like pick us up and cater to us. We have to do that for ourselves. And then what anyone else comes along and does is extra. And if it's taken away, you gotta step away from those situations and those people, even if it's for a moment. I don't want to act like I don't care, because I do. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I do care. I care a lot. You know what I'm saying? I love a lot. I feel immensely. I feel deeply. And I don't want to change that about me. But I do want to let go of my attachment to things. And because I attach to things, all of those parts of me that are so deep and feel deeply are going to attach to those things too. Not everything deserves every part of you. Not every person deserves every part of you. Stop resisting. Stop fighting. Stop tripping. Stop trying to control situations. Just be. Embrace the moment. Because that's all we have at the end of the day. All we have is moments. Each moment gonna keep going by. So don't attach to a moment and let life pass you by. Let things and people that love you pass you by. Keep going with the flow of life, the flow of the river. Keep embracing your natural state, just like every other thing on this earth that's natural does. Even the poisonous things embrace what they are. And they be poisonous. Same with us humans. There's going to be some good people and there's going to be some bad people. There's going to be some people that spread hate, that spread lies, or that are mean, or that are manipulative, or that, you know, pour poison into people. We can't control that. It can be coexistive, but that don't mean you have to. That don't mean you have to go touch that poisonous plant. That don't mean you have to go touch that poison ivy. It can exist. It ain't finna drive you crazy just because it's existing. I ain't finna let that person that, you know, done me dirty drive me crazy just because they're existing. They gonna continue to exist. They gonna continue to do them. But I can choose to not let it affect me. But a lot of the stuff that I'm saying and that I feel like I've gained a certain type of awareness of, I've learned like from this book, The 4 Agreements. If y'all haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. I'm gonna just read the 4 agreements. Each one goes into depth into each chapter. The first one is be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Second agreement is don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Third one, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one assignment, you can completely transform your life. Last one, always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. And one of my favorites out of all of these is don't take anything personally. And that's kind of go along with what I'm trying to say in this video, is like regardless of what you're going through and who you're dealing with or who you're surrounding yourself with, there's going to be things that happen all around us, to other people that we love regardless. But don't take nothing that a person does or says personally, because 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10 it has nothing to do with you. They're just in their own reality and you and yours. But I love y'all and God bless. Stay prayed up.